Hey everybody, Alan Weber here from the Mayor's Office on a sunny Tuesday afternoon. A couple of things for today's wrap-up of where we stand with our ongoing battle against the coronavirus. First, and most important, the rules still apply. Stay home unless you're taking an essential trip. An essential trip is a trip to the grocery store, the supermarket, to go to see a doctor, to go get your pharmaceuticals. That's it. The governor has made it absolutely clear those are the criteria. Otherwise, stay home, stay safe, don't get sick. If you do need to go out, wear a mask, stay 6 feet apart. Before you go out, wash your hands. When you come home, wash your hands. Use sanitizer if you can't get to soap. Do everything you can to break the back of the virus. Now here's an amazing piece of news. Yesterday, as we all watch what's going on in the country, as we have sad statistics from one end of America to the other, yesterday Santa Fe County recorded one new case. One. That's because you're doing an amazing job. That's because you're taking these rules, this order from the governor, order from the health authorities, order from the CDC, orders from people who understand a public health emergency is in place, taking them seriously and doing the right thing. Our city team is trying to help. You will see if you go to our trails, you want to go hiking or jogging, you'll see some new signs that our Parks and Rec department has put up, not only on the trails but also in our parks and in the facilities where people like to get some recreation. These are really good signs. They're colorful, they're fun, they're clear, they're in English and in Spanish. They make the point that we are all supposed to do the right thing. Wear your mask, keep 6 feet apart. If you're passing somebody, give them notice so that they're not going to be afraid or concerned that you are somehow letting droplets from potential COVID infection get onto them. Now, there are a few things we need to remember. Number one, we've learned from the beginning of this disease a lot. We've become a lot more smart, a lot more informed. One of the things we've learned is this is a disease where you can be asymptomatic. You can have no symptoms and you can have COVID-19. That's why the best advice we get from experts is act as if you have it. Act as if you already have it and act accordingly. Wear your mask, stay home, don't infect others, keep a 6-foot distance. I was on the phone this morning with the CEO of the farmers market. They are enforcing those rules at the farmers market. They have a big sign at all the entrances to the farmers market. Shop quickly, don't stop and socialize, use hand sanitizer, don't touch the merchandise, be very careful, be respectful, keep your social distance. When you do that, whether it's at the supermarket, the grocery store, the pharmacy, farmers market, outrunning that trip to the park nearby you, if we follow those rules, we'll still have one case a day. That would be amazing. What the statistics try to track are how many days it takes to double your number of cases. At one a day, we will be a low end of the spectrum. We'll flatten the curve, we won't crash our healthcare system, and we'll come through this with more people healthy and with our economy intact. There are other things, oddly enough, going on in the city besides coronavirus. And usually what we'd be talking about at a time like this is our efforts, the ongoing effort to make sure that we have safe streets. We launched Operation Spring Blitz, our police department, enforcing our speed laws and issuing citations for people who are either speeding, talking on the phone, doing something that is a violation. And they have been very, very thoughtful and on the job, thoughtful in the sense that they're not just stopping people for no reason. They're going through the police practices that are one of the reasons we have one of the best police departments in the country. Here's some data. Between March 20th and April 2nd, so this data comes to us April 3rd, there were 229 traffic stops as part of Operation Spring Blitz, 324 citations issued, 24 verbal warnings where they gave a talking to or a stern warning to the driver, and 6 arrests. So those are the statistics that the police department is keeping. There'll be some new stats on Friday, but I think it's important to remember that while we are battling the coronavirus and we should all stay home, if you're out going to the supermarket, going to the grocery store, please drive carefully. Please observe the speed limit. Don't talk on your phone. Make sure that you are safe. It would be a tragedy to have no health issues because of the coronavirus and suffer a health issue because of an accident while you're driving your car. Now we're beginning to see a national conversation, starting with the president and going through governors, about when and how and what a strategy to open up would look like. I clipped an article from the New York Times last week because I thought sooner or later we would want to talk about this. I think it's too soon. My own assessment is that we haven't peaked yet in New Mexico. The data that we get from experts where they do computer modeling tells us that our peak won't happen until probably the middle of May. So let's not get ahead of ourselves. Remember, we're in this for the long run, to stay safe, to stay home. But if you're thinking about the question as a national conversation, when a reopening could take place, this article in the New York Times identified 4 goals when you could reopen a country. First, hospitals in the state must be able to treat safely all patients requiring hospitalization without resorting to crisis standards of care. So the hospitals have to treat patients safely, those who need hospitalization, without a crisis setting. Number 2, a state, any state in the country, needs to be able to test at least everyone who has symptoms. So as we continue to see symptoms arising, we need to have the capacity here in New Mexico to make sure that everyone gets a test. And then, if they test positive, we've got to do contact tracing to see where they've been, who they might have infected. Third, the state is able to conduct monitoring of confirmed cases and contacts. So you need to build that capability to monitor those who are confirmed as having coronavirus and the contacts they may have had where it could continue to spread. And finally, and we're nowhere near this, there must be a sustained reduction in cases for at least 14 days. What that tells me is we're way early to have the conversation about reopening. We've seen already in Singapore where they thought they were clear, they reopened, and they suffered a second wave of infections. So I think the message to all of us needs to be, stay the course, stay focused, stay disciplined, stay safe, stay healthy, stay home. If we can stay the course, we will see that Santa Fe, northern New Mexico, Santa Fe County is one of the safest places to go through this public health emergency. It certainly is one of the most beautiful places where we can walk, enjoy the spring weather now that we're on the other side of our snowstorm, go back outside, keep 6 feet apart, wear a mask, stay safe, give other people warning if you're coming near them so they can get to one side of a trail. We don't want anyone to get sick. We want everyone in our community to stay safe and stay healthy. And one other thing, we really want to stay nice to each other. This is a very trying time. People are under a lot of stress. I get that. We hear about it all the time in the mayor's office. phone calls, emails, letters, talking about what a challenge it is to be under this kind of pressure. You may have lost your job. You may have someone in your family who is sick. You may be worried about a family member who's in another part of the country and you can't go help them or give them comfort in this difficult period of time. All of that raises people's stress level. The time is now to remember that we're all in this together, to take a step back, to take a deep breath, to remember that we're going to make it through this if we look after each other, if we really act on our best values and on our community connections. Santa Fe is a city of amazingly generous people. We just got 100 homemade masks donated to the city of Santa Fe by people who have been sewing and bringing those masks to our fire station so that city employees working with some of our residents who may be sick or who may need help have mask protection. You don't see that kind of community engagement everywhere, but you see it here in Santa Fe. So remember, as we make it through this, as we try to keep our community spread down to 1 or 0 per day, that we're all in it together, that while you may get exasperated or a little anxious, cabin fever, do something to relieve the pressure. Have a good laugh, read a good book, check out a new film on TV, go for a walk, do yoga, do stretching, take up a new hobby, write a poem for our poetry contest. We still have our poetry contest going on through our libraries. So remember that we're going to make it. Be calm and confident. Be tall, be strong, stay safe, remember the basics, keep social distancing, stay home unless you have an absolutely essential trip to make, practice hand washing, putting on a little hand sanitizer if that helps, and then do something that makes you happy, that gives you a sense of joy. Write a letter to an old chum from school. Say thank you to somebody who helped you at another time in your life. Use this period of quiet and stay at home to reflect on the best things in life, things that make living in Santa Fe so special. Think about that. Think about how fortunate we are to be here with each other. Even in hard times, we are a community that is all together. So I'll see you tomorrow. We'll look at the numbers again. We'll review what's working. We'll look at some more reminders, some signs, some efforts that are being made by city employees, by folks out in the community, in the nonprofit world, in our community of religious leaders. Everything we can do to keep each other safe, to keep each other healthy and at home. Thanks for watching. I will see you tomorrow. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay strong, stay home.